Goodness. I don't know how this is going to work, and I'm live. This isn't terrible. Do I even need that light? Yeah, probably a little bit. Actually, let me turn it up. Sure. Okay, so it's about that time. It is about, oh, my aunt's birthday is tomorrow. Okay, I was like, oh, is this the 18th? But it's not. Because I do want to do Aries season before I do the first decan of Aries. I'm actually going to do this. I mean, it's not early. I mean, it technically is early, but what is early? And so what? Oh, I was going to use OBS so I can put a picture of the cards up. It's fine. I'll put it in the thumbnail, I guess, after I finish this video. So I don't know. Oh wow. I don't know like what's going on, but I think I've been taken out of the rotation. Last night I had a dream that some stuff was going down. And usually when stuff goes down in my dream, then like I have to step up and I have to do whatever. But it was just like not working last night. And it didn't end too well. But I woke up, and then when I went back to sleep, I was like training a successor. And for some reason, like all of the ability and stuff that I have was just like gone. Or maybe they were just better at it than I am. Because they were like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what's up? But if someone watches this and y'all start having crazy dreams, then hey, maybe it'll be you. So I guess I'm just gonna like step back and like focus on what I need to focus on. Thank you for the like. I appreciate that. But I am going to get into this Aries season. I'm using the Kawaii Tarot today instead of the Witch's Tarot, even though I usually use the Witch's Tarot because it fits on this space. And I also wanted to pull. Some from the SKT as well. So let me grab that now before I forget. And I will do these last because I feel like we might be coming up on some stuff that's a little more interesting, I'll say, right? This will be for all signs. So if you have Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, or Pluto. I don't know if there's any Pluto and Aries people because either you're like really, really, really old or you're not born yet. Because Pluto is in Capricorn now. And when I was born, Pluto was in Scorpio. And I think my mom is a Pluto in like Libra generation. Hey, Miyoshi. In the shower listening. All right. But yeah, Pluto in your midheaven, Aries in your midheaven, Aries 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and or 12th house. If your Aries is in conjunct and it's not cusping anything, this still may potentially be for you. Let's see. Ooh, what card is this? The moon, first card out. Oh my gosh. With the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck, this moon card is still coming out. So I'm going to say intuition is going to be key. And following your inner mind, following your inner knowing, being guided by your inner sight is going to be key. And then there's the High Priestess. I was like, there's that moon again. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm going to shuffle this up a few times. Yeah, Miyoshi. So I had a dream last night that was quite contentious, and I was not victorious in the dream. And I felt bad because I had like a whole little company of people fighting with me. And I'm like, yeah, like we're going to do this. And we did not, in fact, do it. And then I woke up. I woke up before, like the worst happened. But it's also interesting because I didn't talk about this dream yesterday, but I almost did. Um, I wasn't there. I don't think you were there. And honestly, it's a good thing that you weren't there because we lost in the first dream. So I wasn't even like, oh, let me like I couldn't even handle it myself. I was just off. So then I went to sleep and then I woke up and then when I went back to sleep, I was like training somebody else and like they were really good. And I was like, wow, I guess I'm just like outdated now. And so I was saying before you came in, like if anybody starts having weird dreams, then hey, maybe you picking up the torch while I work through all of the stuff I'm working through, I guess. Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and the Seven of Cups, Two of Coins, and the Queen of Wands just came out. But yeah, I did end up learning some new stuff though. Um, but I couldn't do as much as I thought I should have been able to. And I was like, because usually I don't struggle. Usually it's like I go in, I take care of business. It is what it is. But last night, maybe it's just time for me to take a break. I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. So, but yeah, I would be grateful that you weren't there, at least in the first stream, because it was not pretty. So let's see. I kind of want to pull from the bottom, but no, I'm not doing that because I want to understand this. All right, so first card down on the table is the Knight of Swords. So we are actualizing some kind of. So I feel like we may be coming into these times where we might need to not necessarily distance ourselves per se, but to disconnect in a way that allows us to fully process our own internal information. I know Miyoshi said you were going to be fasting for like a week, and I think that would be a very good thing because I'm looking for the Emperor because this is for Aries. So I'm looking for the Emperor. Um, but that might be a good thing because I feel like we're being called to really learn the voice of our own internal guidance right now and to move based off of that. And so whenever we listen to other people, it's there's a potential um, for a little bit of interference to come into play. Where it's like, I've been through anti-theft robbery training before, and they say if there's ever like a situation where the authorities need to be involved, it's best that people don't talk to each other because what happens is everyone has their own perspective of what happened. And once you start talking to other people, it's like then it becomes this group consensus where it's like one person's like, oh, he had a hat. And five other people are like, oh, I don't remember seeing a hat. And then the one person who saw the hat, then, they fall into group consensus and they're like, oh, maybe he didn't have a hat. But it's like one of those things where it happened so quickly and no one was really paying attention that like those details get mixed up. The one person who thought that they saw the person wearing a hat, when the police come, they leave that information out because group consensus, nobody else saw the hat. When in reality, the person had a hat on. And so there's like group consensus can just like make you lose like little details like that. Right. And so it's just like, because up there is the emperor. The emperor is in a space that is very similar to where the last card was. And it's, oh my gosh, followed by the world. Oof, the emperor is sitting between the Four of Pentacles and the world. And after the world is the Three of Swords. So, yeah, it's imperative that I fast. Yep. That is interesting. This is going to be interesting. So, we're still in the present moment. We're still making choices and we're still making decisions. We're probably still, I mean, to be fair, though, we're going to be starting Aries season in this post retrograde shadow. So, hey, those energies will still be here. And there is the 10 of pennies. 10 of pennies comes after judgment. Oh, and then after the 10 of pennies is the chariot. So I feel like we're going to be coming into these spaces. And then the Ten of Cups. I love this. So we go from the Four of Pentacles to the Emperor to the World. And I'm going to read this again when I pull everything. But I'm just going to read the line because you won't see everything else because it all falls away. But it still tells a piece of the story. It's just like, the side story that gets edited out. Um, so the Emperor is sitting between the Four of Pentacles and the World, right? And so there's like this executive decision with this Emperor to really come into all of who and what we are. And it's like, okay, so do we step away from all of the hurt and the pain and the self-isolation, or do we open it up? With the World, then the World is followed by the Three of Swords, which is a little bit of heartbreak. It's probably going to be painful to pull these swords out of our own heart. A lot of times it is or can be like this sort of self-defense mechanism. And when we pull those swords out, it's like, you don't want to, if you get stabbed by something, you don't want to remove it unless you can stop the bleeding. Because once you remove it, it's going to start gushing blood. And if you bleed out, sometimes it's better to leave it in. But we're going to be pulling these out. And once we pull them out, it goes into the Six of Pentacles, followed by the Five of Pentacles. And so we may be realizing that some situations that we once thought were a little more balanced and fair, maybe we thought we did more than we actually did. Maybe we think that the other person did more than they did. But going from the six to the five, I feel like we're going to really be forced to look at how much each person gave. This could be in like past relationships in general, or it could be a specific past relationship. Um, and then that's followed by judgment, right? So with judgment, I feel like it's going to be us looking at and analyzing the role that we played more so than the role that other people played, right? But with judgment, it's also going to be like an opportunity to really move past all of that hurt. But to move past it, first we have to feel it. You got to feel it to heal it. And then you have to like analyze it, or you don't have to analyze it, but you feel it, you look at it, you heal it, you put it away. After judgment, we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Chariot, and then the Ten of Cups. So this is going to be moving very quickly once it's like once that trumpet blows, once we work through everything we need to work through in this moment in time, things are just going to speed up. And like the wheel that's been coming out so much, like all of the 2020 is going to be my year. Like that's when all of that stuff really starts to come into play. Clarified, coming out next with this Eight of Wands. Oh my gosh. So yeah, it's all definitely moving. I just love this. It goes judgment, Ten of Pentacles, the Chariot, Ten of Cups, the Eight of Wands. This is so swift, but we're being placed in these not with Temperance sitting on top of Judgment. Oh my, our Justice. Temperance is sitting on top of Justice. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's exactly the energy with the Ace of Wands sitting on top of the Six of Wands. To get everything we really want and truly desire, we're being put through these harsh tower moments, being put through these very, very harsh lessons in isolation from the people who maybe we cared about the most in some ways, because it's going to be really important for us to get these lessons and to get this knowledge. And the Hangman just came out after the Ace of Swords. And so we're really sitting with this information and we're really learning how to use it. But to really learn how to do all of that, it's like we have to be worthy of the very thing that we are wishing for. And so we are in this process of being made worthy. And it's not that we weren't necessarily worth it before, but it's like, before I give you everything that you want and everything that you desire, I want to make sure that you're not going to, oh my gosh. I want to make sure that you're not going to like waste it, that you're going to truly appreciate it for all that it is, and that you won't let this opportunity pass you by, because you are going to be so just like ready to move and go. And then the Tower just came out between the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. So between the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles, the Tower has just come out. And so with the Queen of Swords going to the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like everything that we thought we knew is going to be challenged right now. And all of the information that we're getting is to put us in this space where we can really love and accept ourselves for all of who we are. And with this Tower, it's like we know that it's not going to happen unless we're in that space. Left at the bottom of the deck is Strength. Strength. Look at that little lion. Yes. Be strong. Be strong. And Strength is an 8. 8 is a number of abundance. So like I said, like to get everything that we want, we're going to have to prove that we can handle it. It's like, it's like there's this like millionaire who wants a billionaire, a trillionaire. There's a trillionaire who wants to go and really change somebody's life. But before he gives, he or she, before she, I like she, before she gives the money to someone, she wants to make sure that they're going to use it responsibly. So like she's like sitting down with people, right? And she's like, okay, so if you were to win this sum of money, what would you do with it? What are some of your biggest hopes and goals and dreams? Like, what are you working towards? Um, like, what's really important to you? If you could quit your job and do the thing that you love right now, what would you be doing? And so we're having these very deep, and it goes deeper than that, but we're having these very deep conversations with ourselves, and we're being forced to look at who we are in both how we think and how we act, because the way we think we act sometimes is not the way that we actually act, for sure. And that's why that 6 of Pentacles leading into the 5 of Pentacles came out, right? It's like if you saw yourself through your actions, would your opinion of you change? If you saw yourself through your actions, are you still who you say you are? Or are you someone different? And so it's like, it's the same thing, but instead of a trillionaire, it's like spirit, right? Forcing us to have these sort of moments and asking us these questions where before we get everything we want and desire, or everything we say we want, they are sort of making sure that we're not going to squander it, right? And let me make sure I don't accidentally pull up the wrong cards, because I felt like I almost made that mistake last time. Okay. Wait. Okay. Oh wait, I do. It's a bit. Oop. Ah! Okay, so now we have the High Priestess at the top, and the High Priestess. We go from Strength to the High Priestess. Go for what you know. I do want to shuffle this up though. No, I'll leave the High Priestess up top because that's how I do this. Okay. So I am going to, before I start reading this, take a picture so I can use it on the thumbnail. And, ooh, that is interesting. We talked about that last night. Okay. Oh, wow. Give me a moment, please, to set this up. Oh, wow. See, I'm going to be looking at all of this. Usually I don't look at it before I start reading it, but I want to take this picture, so I can take the picture after. I can take the picture after. I don't want to spoil it. I've already kind of spoiled it, but hey, it is what it is. So this is for Aries season in general, which is roughly March 21 to April whatever, I don't know. To the like middle of April. because in the end of April into the middle of May is Taurus season. So in the past, we have the Hermit, the Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. I feel like in the past, which may be this season, honestly, we may have been put in these moments where we go hermit mode because, like, that's the only way for us to truly know, right? And so I feel like everything that's been blocking us in the sort of like physical realm, things that have been limiting our abundance, that have been like closing off sort of like how we feel in our hearts. Because when you manifest and when you attract abundance, you're doing it from the heart. So if your heart is closed, then you're probably going to have a little bit of difficulty manifesting. Um, but I feel like we've been put, either we have been sort of called in the past, or we've been put in these situations where we're hermiting. And with the Queen of Wands, it's so that we can find out what we really truly want. And I feel like there's this element of like self-love that's here, right? Because I feel like this isn't necessarily us opening our hearts in a way that's like to love somebody else. I feel like this is us opening up our hearts to ourselves so we can stand in our own power and so that we can know really how to do it. So if you haven't been forced to hermit, we still have time until Aries season, right? Let me see. I'm going to see where the sun is really quick. I'm gonna see where the sun is really quick. I know the sun is in Pisces. Ooh, the moon is right now 13 degrees Capricorn. So the moon is 7 degrees from Mars and 9 degrees from Jupiter. And then like 11 degrees from Pluto. So, wow. Mars, Jupiter, and Pluto are all within 5 degrees of each other, and the moon is going to be sliding into that by the end of the night. Oof. Maybe that's why I'm feeling a little bit more like emotionally grounded today, though, because the moon is in Capricorn. So the sun is currently 27 degrees in Pisces, which is accurate because the 20th is the last day of Pisces season. It's the 17th. We have 3 more days. And so if you haven't been in this hermit mode where you are really looking at sort of like what's really blocking you, really sitting back to think at like, what are some of the ways that I limit and stifle myself? What are some of the ways where I fail to express who I am and what I'm about? Right. What are some of the areas like what is my sense of like confidence based off of? Is my confidence based off of what I get from other people, or is it based from within? Um, right. And so if you haven't been in this space to figure it out, you got a little bit of time. I would say really take advantage of that moment. We do have 2 queens sitting at the top. We have the Queen of Wands in the past and the Queen of Pentacles in the present. So self-worth, right? Self-worth and self-expression with the Queen of Wands. Now, I would kind of say the Queen of Swords is a little bit of self-expression, but I feel like the Queen of Wands is more of that like the confidence piece of it. Um and so the Queen of Swords expresses herself with her words, but the Queen of Wands expresses herself with her body, right? And it's all of the nonverbal communication. And so you can talk a big game and you can like do whatever, but if your body language doesn't match up, then people are going to be able to see right through you. It's like, you're shaking like a leaf, but you're talking a big game. And there's nothing wrong with, being a little shook. But I think this is all about having confidence in the body. Maybe body confidence for somebody, potentially. I mean, if you're not confident in your own skin, then it might affect your sense of self worth. But there's lots of earth energy here between the hermit and the four of pentacles. And then we go into this fire energy. And so it's like you are building the fireplace, the pit around the flame to really house it. And you want it to be sturdy enough that the fire will be contained and it's not going to burn down your whole backyard and then burn down the house and then burn down the neighbor's house while the neighbor's on vacation. Because I wouldn't like to come back from vacation to a burned down house because somebody didn't know how to contain their fire. But that's all in the past. So if you haven't been there, you still have a little bit of time. Just think about it, process it, right? Excuse me. So, in the root cause of why this is happening, we have the King of Swords, the Chariot, and the Six of Cups. So, here's another royal. We have royals all over the place. I think this is all about self. With these court cards, I'm getting different aspects of the self. This is my like, a lot of people read court cards as like other people. I do sometimes, but I don't know if y'all notice. Most of the time, I don't really read cards as other people. Sometimes I do, but we have many different sides ourselves, right? So the King of Swords, the Chariot, and the Six of Cups. Man, this King of Swords just look. He is the only sad royal in the whole deck. Why is he so sad? Or maybe he's just like content. Maybe he's contemplating something. Well, he is the King of Swords, so he's probably thinking about something. Um. Oh, this is interesting. So I typically don't read these as other people, but I think this one involves somebody else, and this isn't a root cause. And so it's like I feel like someone either wants to come in and rectify a situation, or it's up to us to rectify a situation because it's like we're thinking on something. And there's this little sun here, right? So I feel like there's a little bit of clarity that we've gained. There's a little bit of light that we want to shed on the situation. Um, and with this King of Swords, it's like something that's been very heavy on our minds, and it's something that we need to address so that we can release it. And it isn't to necessarily like try to get back together with somebody, or it isn't necessarily to like go back to somebody or to win somebody over, but it's just like these things that we have sort of held up within us, we need to get out and we need to communicate to really put it to bed. Because it's like with this Chariot and this Six of Cups upright, it's bringing justice to a past situation swiftly. It's going into the past and sort of like looking at where things went wrong and where they could have gone better. And with that Hermit, Four of Pentacles energy, right? That is like something that just like did not go well in the past that is continuously affecting us today. And we want to not be affected by it anymore because it's limiting our experiences of everything that could be happening right now. And so if there are people that you need to forgive, or people that you want to be forgiven by, maybe one thing you could do is like write a letter where you just say everything, what happened, how it made you feel, the space that you were in, the ways you see it affecting you now. And like, if you can have these conversations with those people, like by all means, I guess go for it. But if you can't, I feel like writing the letter and then maybe burning it safely or shredding it, throwing it away, just to get those feelings and emotions out there, just to mentally process it and then allow yourself to heal it. Um, because again, it's like once you move past all of that, it's like your past no longer becomes a thing that hinders you and holds you back. Between the Chariot and the Six of Cups upright, every card in this deck is upright, by the way. Um, but it's like we are fixing and resolving our own pasts with this King of Swords, so that it takes up less mental space. Um, right. And if you do apologize to someone, um, if you do ask for forgiveness, and if you like, you have to approach it with the truth, right? No half truths, no like I did this because you did that, blah 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 blah, whatever. Now you can say like, you did this and it affected me in these ways, um, but it's not really to blame anybody, right? It's just to have an honest conversation of what happened. Um, and then like that's how you free yourself from a toxic past. And if someone doesn't forgive you, like it's not on you. Like people don't have to forgive us. And we don't have to forgive other people. We should forgive other people, but we don't have to. And forgiving someone doesn't necessarily mean giving them the opportunity to come in and to hurt us again. Forgiving someone in its simplest form is accepting what happened and releasing it. But it's like releasing it in a way that it's like you accept it for what happened. You look at everything that sort of all of the ripple effects, and then you move on. You don't have to take the person back. They don't have to take you back. You don't have to move forward together. Like this is a one-wheeled chariot with two stars in the sun, but that's only one wheel. So it's like I don't know. That's the energy of healing the past. And once you heal the past, it propels you forward because I feel like a lot of the blockages in this situation are rooted in the past. So at present, we have death. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to keep going with it. This is interesting. This is interesting. There are no mistakes. There are no mistakes. Wow. Okay. Um I'm just going to keep going with it. So in present we have Death, the Seven of Wands, and the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like Death with between Death and the Seven of Wands, especially when we're talking about healing and resolving the past, I feel like this is definitely the energy of like us reworking our sources of strength, right? Because let's say like you're the type of person who your past has been difficult and tragic and you've been hurt a lot and you found strength in like not allowing things like that to happen to you ever again, right? And so you are strong today and you survived everything that you went through, but with strength being the first card at the bottom of the deck, it's like that source of strength is rooted in pain and hurt and negativity, and it can only carry you so far, right? A strength that's rooted in hurt and pain and negativity isn't going to lead you into new situations. It's going to lead you to the same situation and you continuously avoiding the same situations, waiting for the new situation to come in. But as long as that is your source of strength, then like it's built into your very foundation. How are you going to get anything different? And if you do get something different, then your foundation might tell you things of this person that aren't true. because it's like, this, everyone else I dealt with was like this. Everyone else did me like this. When everyone else said this is what they meant. Whenever the relationship went this way, then it went that way. Well, I'm not like everybody else, and you're not like everybody else. And we're on this journey so that, like, we distance ourselves from the everybody else. Like, so, like, it's time to transform that. This is like, this is the energy of like being sort of like triggered by things. And I don't want to dismiss triggers because I know triggers are very real, but it's like a phantom trigger. It's like, we've healed the thing, we've moved past it, but we're still being triggered by it. um and that's one thing that I'm like in this space, and this is present, right? So the present is kind of sort of the future because this is your Aries season. But this is one thing I've been like trying to be very intentional of, right? Looking at the people in front of me as they are, and not looking at them as reflections of people that I met in the past, because the lessons that I needed to learn I've already learned, and the chapters that I needed to close are already closed. And I am in a space where I can realize and recognize when other people have chapters that they need to close in order for them to step into who they are becoming. And once you become who you really are, you're no longer that person from the past. So why are you still carrying all of the old stuff? It's like you go on a weight loss journey and you look good, but your clothes never change. And like, you don't have to get all new clothes. If you lose weight, you ain't gotta lose weight. If you're a big dude or a big gal, I'm a big dude. I mean, I'm planning on not being a super big dude all my life, kinda, I guess. But it's like, once you lose weight, like once you slim down, why are you still wearing these extremely baggy things? Like, and then it's like you look in the mirror and you can't see yourself as you are. Well, it's like, well, if you changed your clothes, if you wore something that was a little less baggy, if you wore something that was a little more form fitting, if you see yourself as you are now and not as this warrior that you've been all your life, like if you allow a little bit of peace and a little bit of joy and a little bit of happiness, like true actual happiness to come in, and not be over analyzing and overcritical of it and wondering when the other shoe is going to drop and just waiting to be hurt and disappointed and let down, to the point that you are creating these scenarios and situations and circumstances where it's like, yes, like there may have been like a tiny disagreement, or there may have been this thing that was said, or there may have been that thing. But like, if we don't know each other, like we're not going to know. And we're all human. We're all going to have days when we're a little irritable, where we're upset, where we're tired, where we're this, where we're that, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't mean that just because that happens, you jump full into the past. Like, it's time to completely transform that. It's time to let it go. Because with this Queen of Pentacles, like that's the only way you're really going to get things that come in that are worthy of who you are now. Right? You have to let all of that stuff go, or you're going to keep attracting it into your reality. It's like you're the queen of this kingdom, and you're like, we don't want any more bandits in the kingdom. But then you have all these flyers posted up like, hey, we have this and we have that, and our gates aren't protected, so just come in and steal all of it if you're that type of person. And then you're like, why do we keep getting these bandits and thieves and all of this other stuff? And it's like, well, like, A, you're advertising it, B, you're inviting them, and C, like what are you thinking? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. In the future, okay. So in the future, speaking of bandits and thieves, we have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, the World, and the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like this is clarifying what I was just talking about, right? This is us realizing that the biggest roadblock that we had and have in our lives is ourselves, and what we allow other people to come in and do. It's like, you know, if you don't want to be in a certain situation, then stop giving time to certain types of people and stop perpetrating those things within yourself. Because when you're constantly on guard, you're constantly going to be looking for things that may or may not even be there. And with this with this world card, it's time to officially close that chapter to begin to manifest everything that you actually want. Like, this is the red pill. It's time to wake up, Neo. Like, it's time to get up. You're not subjected to everything, all of the old programming, all of the old behaviors, all of the old stuff. It's like, as long as you continue to operate out of it, as long as you run that operating system, like, it's going to be the same. Like, you're running the same operating system, wanting something new. Like, upgrade the operating system. It's time. Like, you still using like Windows 97. And not that there's anything wrong with the Windows 97, but you know, it's going to be a little slow. It's going to be a lot of slow compared to what we have now. It's going to be really slow. And then you're like, oh, well, whenever I go to somebody else's house, their computer isn't this slow. Why is my computer that slow? And it's because, like, you have an old, outdated computer and you have the ability to upgrade, but you don't want to because it's new. And, like, you're like, I don't know how to use it. Like, all these different features, oh, these old programs that I love that only run on 97 because they're outdated. Like, they won't run on my new computer, and it's worth being like extremely slow as long as I can continue to use these old programs. And I get it because I went to my daddy house and he had this like encyclopedia type program thing, and I tried to run it on the new computer and it didn't work. And I was like, wow, this used to be like bomb when I was a kid. I love learning. But you know, ultimately at the end of the day, I'd rather have a faster computer. So and then, like, you know, you look it up and maybe there's a new program. Maybe there's an updated program that works even better than you remember. Like with this Six of Cups, it's better than you remember. Like, it was good in the past, but it can be better, right? Let's keep it moving because you're the only thing that's standing in your own way. And it's the old you. It's like you're still in this contention between the new you and the old you. And yes, it takes time to put the old us to bed. And yes, there are going to be moments when the old us sort of like makes a little bit of an appearance. But when it does that, we have the choice to move forward. And, you know, we might be old for like a day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days. But eventually we got to be new again. We can't be stuck in the old, right? I mean, we can, but it's not advisable. And then in the goal, and the reason why all of this is happening, we have the Seven of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Two of Pentacles. So this is 9 pentacles on both sides of the Emperor, right? Um, the Emperor is the clarification card. This is where I messed up because the Emperor is supposed to be in the present. And I looked at the present cards and I was like, the Emperor is not here. But it's in like, this is why this is all happening. Like, the root foundation, the root cause of this is to get us to move out of our pasts and to come into brighter futures, to heal and resolve the toxic things that are still holding us back. It's like there are these sticks in the wheels of the chariot and we're not going anywhere even though we want to, or maybe we're moving a little bit and we're not moving as fast as we could be because there's gunk in the wheel. And so you got to clear out the gunk. And that's why this is happening, right? And then the ultimate goal is to get us to become these emperors when we're standing fully in our power and our power. And when we're like self-sufficient with the Nine of Pentacles. So with the Seven of Pentacles leading to the Sun, this is hard work. This is hard work that we're going to have to do to get this clarity, to get this. And look, if we have it up here, there's this sun, right? You got this little sun and the Seven of Pentacles and the little sun and the Chariot, right? So this is like, you know, let's say it's like the Chariot is like a lawnmower where you got to like prime it. Well, first you prime it and then you like, you pull the string. I don't know what it's called, right? To get the lawnmower going. Like, that's what we're doing. We're priming it and we're pulling the string so we can take off. But it's going to be hard work. But this Five of Pentacles is going to take us really looking at the reasons why, honestly, we left ourselves out in the cold. but it's the reasons why we feel isolated and we feel separated and we feel disconnected. With this Two of Pentacles, it's going to be us constantly making the choices and the decisions to keep moving forward whenever these Five of Pentacles feelings come up, to ultimately be in a space to achieve this little sun, right? And then we reach the point where we no longer have to juggle. Toss them pills up, toss them pills up in the air. Hey, it's like, you know, we're working hard with this two right here, right? We're working hard. We're constantly choosing to move forward. We're constantly choosing to not fall to the hurt and the pain and the trauma of the past. We're constantly choosing, constantly choosing, constantly choosing. But once you hit this sun spot, then like you can throw the choices up in the air. It's no longer us choosing. It's just us standing in our power. It's just us being everything that we're meant to be. And with this standing in the present of the future, with this being choices, everything is a choice. We're still operating in choices. Choices is still the thing. Choice is still the name of the game. And if you make questionable choices, you get questionable results. If you don't like the options that you're getting right now, then make different choices. It's kind of sort of that simple. And you might be guided and led to these spaces where everything else. Wait, what did my mama call me? Where everything else has to fall away in order to get that to happen. And that's basically the reading. I'm going to shut this down and then I'm going to come right back to do a bunch of generals because I don't know. I'm loving it. Actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to call my mom real quick because I still want to pull the SKT. Okay, she might have caught me on accident because this isn't muted. And I just got the notification, Miyoshi, that Nubian uploaded a video. I don't know if it was live because I don't think she said it. No. Nubian uploaded a video. Keep us on the flame, y'all. Welcome to another beautiful, magical moment in mother time, y'all. I love her voice so much. I love Nubian. I don't like watch her, but when I watch her, I'm just like, oof. Okay, and I'm gonna take this pic for the thumbnail. Do it for the thumbnail. Hey, do it for the thumbnail. Hey, I'm really bad at taking pictures. It was recommended for me though, so it might be old. Oh, okay. Yeah. She probably didn't upload it 19 minutes ago. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this to the side. So that's the main energies that we're gonna be working through. Still choosing to move forward, still choosing to come into a brand new world, choosing to leave the past in the past. So with this High Priestess Aries season, might be a little bit of the same of where we are. Um, maybe. But again, we are starting Aries season in this post retrograde shadow, so that makes sense. Tower at the bottom of the deck. The Tower and the Knight of Pentacles. So if you was moving slow before, something might be setting that little booty on fire to get you to really moving. Because it's like you was moving slow, you moving slow. Tower moment. Time to get out of Dodge. With the Emperor on the bottom of the deck now. And at the top of the deck, the Three of Cups. So some kind of celebration. You can celebrate after you've done the work. That's what I need to tell myself so I get the schoolwork done. Hopefully I can sign in today. Okay. So I wanted to pull the SKT because I feel like we're coming into these spiritually heavy times. And so, we're going to be in this space, we're going to be in this spot, in these spots where we really, really, really sort of like have to dig a little deeper. You got to dig a little deeper. You got to go in. You got to really go in. Ooh, 2 of Cups. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about you. And then the 6 of Pentacles. I'm dead. Wait, I want reversals. So let's shuffle this way. I'm just going to take 3 cards. These aren't even oracle. This is a tarot deck, but I guess I'm treating it like oracles today. The first card I'm going to pick is the title. Give me the title for this season. Give me the title for what we're going through. And I'm only going to take it upright, so it's not going to be in reverse. That card almost came out, but it didn't. The title, please. The title, please. All these cards are like, there we go. Oh my gosh. Well, we got 2. We got 2 cards. Oh man. We got 2 9s. The 9 of Cups and the 9 of Swords. And the Tower is sitting in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So the title for what we're going through is The Wish Granted. Hey, y'all see that? The Wish Granted, which is exactly what I was talking about. But to get this granted wish, we got to go through this. This is exactly what I was saying. The Hunt and the Wish Granted. The Haunted Wish Granted. The Wish Granted Haunt. No, that don't make sense. So the Haunt and the Wish Granted. This is a choice. You can choose the Wish Granted. You can choose the Haunt. You can choose to take and accept everything that's being presented to you right now, or you can choose to leave it in the past and then, lose sleep over it in the future because you really had it. You really had everything that you've ever wanted right in your hand. And if you didn't take it, you're going to feel it, quite honestly. But also, to take it, there's a certain amount of this that has to happen. So if you're going to do this anyway, do this before and get what you want, right? That's what I would do. Okay, so that's the title. That's sort of whatever. Now I want to get the energy that we're coming into. What is the energy? I'm going to give it a shuffle. Give it a shuffle. Give it a good one. Okay, there we go. Ooh, okay. So we're coming into a lot of energy. I'm just going to pull this card off the top and I'm going to put the other ones face down because I don't want to see them because I don't want to take them. But the ones that flipped over in the deck, oh my gosh, I will look at. Ooh, oh, I love this. At the bottom of the deck now is the 6 of Wands in reverse, the Champion in reverse. So victory is achievable. Victory is possible, but this victory is not going to just be given. This is going to be a victory like all victories that we have to work for. And so the energy, I believe that's what I asked for. I asked for the energy. The energy is all upright. We have the Reaper, which is the death card, which came out in the root cause, why this is all happening, right? We have the Reaper, which is grand and divine transformation. Like this Reaper is following the light. And he's like rooting out the darkness. The Reaper followed by the Shining Dew, which is the Knight of Cups, power and authority of water. Nope, it is waters and waves. Waters and waves. Everything flows, everything is in motion. I feel like this is us getting our spiritual bodies right, our emotional bodies right, to really be able to accept all of the good things coming in and to really put us in a space to manifest the good things. This is the only unicorn in the deck, and these horses are actually sisters. The Knight of Swords is related to Death's horse. Choices. You can get the good twin or the bad twin. The good twin has a horn. So don't F with the good twin because the good twin will still F you up. But what that sound like messenger for? Clarinda! Oh my goodness. Kind. Hey, hello. So yeah, you can get the good horse or the bad horse. We playing good horse, bad horse. Twins. Yeah, these are the twins. We got the twins coming out in Aries season. Um, but something, it's like one of these twins is good. If we talking about twins, if we're talking about twins, and we might be, we might not be. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. It's like one of these twins is good. One of these twins is like moving forward, but hoping that their partner like catches up, right? And the other twin is the one that has it rough right now. They are going through it, but they're going through it so that they can be reborn, made anew. They're shedding the skin, they're shedding the old. They are becoming this emperor. The emperor. The emperor came out, y'all. So we are definitely talking about Aries season. This is the potential, right? But somebody's got to transform. Someone's got to move. This is commander of intellections, right? This, I think this is about, so whoever is going through this transformation to become this emperor, and like we all have divine feminine and divine masculine energies, so I guess too we all have emperor and empress energies, right? And so you can be someone who typically identifies as a feminine, but coming into this emperor type energy, because ultimately between death and this emperor, which is a 17 star, 13 plus 4. No, this ain't 13, is it? It is 13, yeah. 13 plus 4 is a 17 star. The wish granted and the hunt. You have to go through this to get to this, to get your wish granted by the good horse. You got to go through this. And I feel like this is all about getting the mind to work for you instead of letting your mind work against you, instead of having an idle mind that constantly wonders to the like, what if this person is doing that? And what if they're doing this? And like, I feel like there's like this sneaky behavior, and it's like to get us out of the past, to get us out of the cycles that we've been running, everything must change to get to where we want to go. Everything must change. And so this is all about getting the mind to work for you instead of working against you. And that's the energy that we're coming into, right? That's an emperor upright rather than an emperor in reverse. And behind, I just saw this and I saw this. So I'm going to take this as well. And I'm going to stop looking at the bottom of the deck. So to claim this victory is going to be us really standing in this truth, right? It's like, because we have this truth now. We've earned it. We've worked for it, but we have to wield it. And to wield the truth is going to require a little bit of introspection with the erudite, which is the hermit. So again, the hermit makes an appearance. The hermit makes another appearance. I love it. And that's why, like, you know, if someone's hermiting right now, give them the space. Because if someone is going through that death process, it is not pretty. It is not pretty right now. And unfortunately, like, we can't really be there for someone else when they go through a death process, when they go through a dark night, right? It's like we're born alone and we die alone. And so when we go through and when we go through a death to be reborn, we do that alone, because to have someone else there, it creates ties where there need not be ties. That's where independence is independence. That's where codependence is created. When we have these sort of moments where other people sort of see us through them, and then we get to this point where we think that our power and our strength is somehow rooted and grounded in us being with someone else, when that shouldn't be the case. Like, to be better with someone else, to have true companionship and partnership, there's always going to be, whenever it comes to resonance, it's like the single is stronger when it's being amplified than it is alone. But each person needs to hold the signal themselves. So this card came out face down as the whatever of Aries season, and then I'm going to clarify it. Clarify this face down card. Oop. I'm just going to take this. And then I'm going to take one more. So I just said that the 13 and the 4 make the 7. The star just came out in reverse. The star is the healer. 17 in reverse. And this is clarifying whatever this other face down card is. And give me one more card. And there it is. Okay. Left on the bottom of the deck is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, the Eminence. And so somebody may be feeling a little bit shook right now, not feeling as self. Oh my gosh. No, I'm dumb. But so we do have so the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Swords came out, and now the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Orbs is sitting at the bottom of the deck. So that is worth noting. 999, major completion. We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up before we come into these 10s, because once the 10 hits, the 10 is the new cycle. And so time is winding down to really jump on, to get on the train before it departs the station. We have the star, and we have this 8 of Swords, the captor. And to me, this says that someone is free, even though they don't feel like they are, right? Because that's the same girl. Like, look at how she's tied up. Look at her garments. Look at her. Now look at this star. Like, that's her. That's her. She's all tied up, y'all. But in reality, she's free. Like, this is a trick of the mind. And this is why death is coming for the emperor, right? This is why the mind needs to change so that it's working for us instead of against us. And these two are clarifying. Oh my gosh. The angel, number 14, which is temperance. Got 999 today calling my insurance company. Oh, snap. I need to call some people today. Thanks for that reminder. Actually, okay. So she's free even though she doesn't believe she is, right? Trapped in her own mind. She can't see it for what it is. These two are clarifying this. And you can see, like, she also has the ropes around her, right? Ropes around her, ropes around her dress. She's less tied up, right? So ultimately, she could be like nearly completely free, less ropey. But we're in this space where we still feel like tied up. I think this might actually be the person that's locked behind bars. I always see it as either the star or the angel, because like, look at all the ropes, look at her garments, right? Then like, look at that on the side. So I think it's actually the star, or actually the angel. The angel is tied up, but this time, because it's like once the angel graduates, the angel becomes the star, where she can heal other people. But she can't even heal other people right now because she's a little bit lost herself. But with this angel card, like everything, I think this is like taking what you need and leaving what you don't. And I think that's going back to healing the past, right? There's this huge energy around healing the past. It's like, take what you need from the past, leave what you don't. Take what helps and serves and supports you, leave what doesn't. And there's going to be with this temperance here, with temperance and the healer. Oh, I'm going to blow my nose now. There's going to be this sort of like rebalancing that needs to take place, because everything, not everything, but some of the things that are like keeping us strong right now is us refusing to go back to the hurt and us refusing to go back to the pain. And so we have this hurt and pain that is integral to the way we operate. It's time to change our operating system. We're being put in these spaces where we really need to change how we operate, because if we continue to operate as we were operating, we're going to keep getting the same things, even though we don't want the things, right? And look at this. The reason why this, why death is coming for this emperor, right? Let me see if I can do this. The reason why death is coming for this emperor, the reason why the very way you operate mentally is being changed right now. Like I said, that like death is rooting out the darkness and it's following that light, right? It's being guided to the angel. It's being guided to ah, her. Death is coming to free you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to free yourselves because death can only put you in a situation to be freed. Death can only try its best to force you to see what it is you need to see. But if you see it and don't accept it, or if you see it and then choose not to go with it, then it's like that choice is on you. It's like spirit is doing everything they can to get you to see where habits, patterns, thought patterns, people that you used to know, like how none of that is serving you. And if you look at the past coming back as maybe I should have done that, like maybe that's worth it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's coming back so you can see and know exactly why it's not supposed to work, why it doesn't work. So then you could come to this space where you can accept. It's like once you accept where everything is lacking and where it hurt the most, then you know what you want the most, right? Whoever hurt you the most or whatever situation hurt you the most is it's almost like a clue as to like what you really want. Because if you didn't truly want it and desire it, it wouldn't have really affected you to the point that it did. Um, and I don't know. It's gonna resonate differently for everybody. And then the card that just came out, the two cards that just came out, this is interesting. It's the Blind Seer and the Scarlet Shield. So the Two of Swords and the Queen of Swords. And again, the Two of Swords is related to justice, right? And then with the Moon card constantly coming out, this is us making a decision based off of how we truly feel, where we're being led and where we're being guided. I feel like we're being guided, like Swords is the suit of the mind. The mind is what's changing right now. But we're being led and we're being guided to sort of like to lower the defenses around our minds, but to also like bolster them at the same time. Right? It's like we're choosing the direction that our mind moves in because the mind, the heart is where we manifest from, but the mind can be its biggest blockage because ooh, I love that. With this Nine of Cups, it can be the biggest blockage, right? What's all these cards? Oh wow, things have shifted a little bit. So Nine of Cups followed by the Knight of Cups, the Star in reverse, and the Captor. A little bit. I'm still shifting. I'm still shuffling. Um, but it's like you wish to be free. You want it to be free. Like more than you wanted a person to love or more than you wanted a person to be there, you want it to be free, right? At the bottom of the deck, this Lovers, followed by the Burden one. You want it to be free. Free of the hurt of past lovers, free of all this like nasty karmic stuff. And it's like the divine is coming in to really take this burden off of your hands. But if you cling to it, like if you refuse to let it go, it's not going to go anywhere. It's like you got to let it go. With the Ace of Wands, that was actually at the bottom. It was the last card on the table when I tried to pick it up. It's like they want to give you everything that you really want. And then here's the Nine of Wands. So all of the nines have officially made an appearance now. The Nine of Wands, followed by the Seven of Cups. Right? And so the Seven of Cups represent the seven deadly sins in this deck. Shout out to Miyoshi for making me read the entry. She didn't make me read the entry. She encouraged me to read the entry. These represent the seven deadly sins. And it's time to somebody who done worked through all of them. So that's also a clue of where to start. Whichever of the seven deadly sins you struggle with the most, start by trying to heal that one. And so if you have issues around your pride, and then this may be a result of some heartbreak in the past. I love this deck. Maybe a result of some of the heartbreak in the past, right? But let's say you have issues around pride and ego where it's like the pride that you found is in result to these people who used to tear you down. But the pride that you hold is shallow. The pride that you hold has no substance. It's like a shell. It's a shell that you put on to keep you safe, but the shell is limiting your expansion. Let's say gluttony is something like, let's say you comfort eat, right? And so you go deep in the ice cream to fill the void that loss or disapproval or whatever creates, right? Let's say sloth is what you go into because you were told that you would never amount to anything, or you were made to believe that nothing that you did was good enough. And so now you don't do anything, right? Oh, I just saw 1 11 11 a on the time, right? Like, there's a reason why we go to these things, and there's a reason why we find comfort in them. And we are given the opportunity while we're doing all of this deep self exploration. If you don't know where to start there, right? Like for me personally, I would say in the past, gluttony was one of mine, but not necessarily too much anymore. But sloth is definitely probably the one that I'm working on the most, which is why it's important for me to do this work, right? And when it came to me doing this work, I was like, why do I always feel tired when I try to do work? And then it's like, I need to take a nap. I need to do this. Why can I go so hard for other people? But when it comes time for me to build for myself, I don't do it. Right. And then it's like, are there questions of self worth? Are there questions of self love? Do I think and believe I'm worth it? And if I do think I'm worth it, if I do know that I'm worth it, why don't I show it to myself? Is there a little bit of fear there? Right. Like you dig into all that stuff, you dig into all of it, but that's where you start. All right. So, any last messages? Last messages from the SKT. There we go. A card just flipped over and it stood up. The card is the Mason. Ooh, 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 ooh. Three of Pentacles, the Mason, right? Or Three of Orbs. This is Mars and Capricorn energy. Y'all see that? Mars and Capricorn. Mars is in Capricorn right now. Mars, Aries, Aries and Capricorn, both cardinal. This is about getting something done. This is about creating a long-term plan, but needing other tools, other people, other information to really build it. So it's like we have the plan, but now we're building it, but we can't build it alone, right? So don't be afraid to reach out for help if you need some help. Or in this moment, realize the people who you can truly work with. And like, I don't know if like now is necessarily the time to begin to like really work on something with all of this deep introspective work going on right now. But while you're diving deep, while you're looking at the past, maybe past relationships, past interactions with people, while you're separating the good from the bad, if you come up on something good, it's like, okay, well, what did this person do? How did we work well together? Is that something that I want from a partner, business partner, romantic partner, people in your life, friends, partners, right? It's like, what are the qualities that I need to really work with someone harmoniously? And then at the bottom of the deck is the Archangel of Mysteries. And it's the angel who illuminates the shadow. The Archangel of Mysteries is the only archangel that is permitted to walk both the upper and the lower realms. It is she with her lantern who goes into the dark and illuminates the way for all of the lost souls, right? And so right now it's like we're being led to pick up our own lantern. I pulled her up. we'll be able to help these people in the future, right? Because this is 2 in 1. It's like we're going to be put in this position where we can hold 2 pentacles and then help someone like carry them, lift them out of the darkness, right? Potentially. Potentially. With the Archangel of Mysteries. Also the moon card. She got moon energy. She like, you don't need to know. And then look, she is the patron archangel of this deck, the Archangel of Mysteries. I love the Archangel of Mysteries. She got something that is mine. But I gotta get it, I guess. She ain't gonna just like give it. The Archangel of Mysteries doesn't give anything. But she'll give you a little lantern and she'll be like, here's your lantern. You go find it. You go in the darkness and you get it yourself. I'm not going down there. Right? Because like when we learn to navigate it ourselves, we can help other people navigate it themselves. And so also with her, also with this energy that we're in, when it comes to like life purpose, like this is a part of our life purpose. This work that we do now will be the foundation for our life purpose. 3 of Pentacles, life purpose, our great work, right? Like this energy, this time, it's now. And that's why, we might be put in the dark a little bit alone right now. But it's for us to find our own light. Because when it comes time to helping the people that we care about and the people that we love, like we're not necessarily going to have the people who help us to help them. We're going to be called to be the people who help them. Take it as it resonates. Take it as it resonates. All right, I'm actually going to cut this video here. And then I'm going to come right back because I want to do a kawaii like journey breakdown, right? I know I have all the cards, but I'm gonna come live. I think I'm gonna come live like once a day. Actually, I'm gonna do it live today, but I'm just gonna upload the next days. Excuse me. And I'm just gonna shuffle out the cards and do like the thing where I split it into 8 piles, or maybe it'll be 4 piles if I use an oracle deck, to read the progression of an energy. And then I'm going to go into each pile. And it'll kind of sort of be like a pick a pile, kind of sort of, right? And then if it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't know how I feel about it because it's like a general like every single day. But it came to me, so I'm gonna do it, I guess. And yeah, so thank you, Miyoshi, for coming by and hanging in with me. Thank you also for the second like and the second person. I appreciate your view and I appreciate your time. I will be right back to keep this video as short as I can keep it. Oof, man, why do I make these so long? Okay, all right, hearts, love you. See you soon, maybe. Bye.